The Festival Titan event is here. The Path of the Clover event is here. I wanted to get this new Padraig champion, and I was thinking maybe I'll get the soul too, and maybe open some shards. We'll do that at the end. Welcome on the Deadwoodjedi. This is Raid Shadow Legends video. The new Path of the Clover event is in game here. You can see I've already started. I opened all my soul stones. It was a lot of them. Not usually like a big fun thing that people like to watch, so I just did that on my own time. And I ended up going all the way and getting Padraig here. This new champion, this kind of St. Paddy's Day champ, I think is actually pretty good. Not going to be a game changer for anybody out there. So if you don't want to get him, I don't think that's a problem. But he is one of those champions that's going to be generally useful everywhere, as far as I can tell with his kit. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know, maybe I'll just get the soul because I feel like I can, and I have some shards in order to do so. So that's going to be our plan today. And because what's happening right now, we've got some interesting progression events going on right now. So if you are interested in maybe getting this champion and pulling some shards, we're going to have progression events basically for the next 3 days, right? So today, I mean, I'm sure none of this is new to you guys, but if you're thinking about pulling shards, you want to figure out which day do I want to pull them on so you can have the better opportunity to get the champs you want. I mean, it's raid, so, you know, doesn't mean you're going to get them. In fact, almost guaranteed you won't. But all the same, it's nice to have that opportunity, right? So today we've got Feral Barkhorn, Borger the Elder, Oella, Grazier, Iron Gut. These are all champions that place increase resistance. Now, Grazier is, for me, the creme de la creme of champions, and that is absolutely who I want to get. So I'm probably going to open some Void Shards today. Feral Barkhorn's quite a good champion as well. Like, I don't want to say that that's a bad option right there. He brings some interesting stuff: decreased resistance, block buffs, decreased accuracy, increased resistance, perfect veil. Definitely would be a good champion to get. I'm just not as keen on getting him personally. Doesn't like make me super excited. I think he's a really good support champion though. Awesome for Hydra, right? Oella's out there. She's a good resistance champion. And who's the other one? Borger the Elder. Don't really like Borger that much, so maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm underestimating him, but just doesn't seem to be the kind of champion that I'd particularly want on my team. So he's not somebody I'd really be super anxious to go for. Anyway, whole point is that you have some champions that are available for you today. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we're gonna have some different ones. These are all gonna be champions. If I'm not mistaken, I think these are all ally protection champions. So we're talking about Blizzard the Howler, right? Which most of you probably, you know, many of you I'm sure have already gotten, right? Now he's an Ogren, isn't he? Right? Is that right? Blizzard, yep, Blizzard the Howler, right? He's a, you know, he's okay, whatever, not bad champion, right? Gives some ally protection. He's got some cool stuff in his kit, the revive and stuff. You've got Snick Track, who I think is actually quite good. If you watch YST's channel, you know how good Snick Track can be. He's got that reflect damage, ally protection, decreased speed, right? Leech on his kit. Look, he's got some nice stuff in there. Tyrant, Ixelmore, right? The HP burn champion. He's really dominant in a lot of areas. He's been around for a long time too. But AoE HP burn ally protection is not bad. And then there's Kira the Watcher, who I don't love, to be honest with you. Not like my favorite champion in the world, but does have that ally protection. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to test this, check this out really quickly here. I believe she is part of, oh, I already got her. I believe she's part of the Mikage fusion, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that you might want to kind of keep in mind if you're looking for that. And then in the Voids, you have Ursuga Warcaller, who's still a really good ally protection champion, especially for Arena. I don't know, like she's super meta anymore, but you know, she was at one point anyway. And then you have Lizardman, you have Krisk. Krisk is obviously still one of the top champions in this game. So those are definitely some options there. I still prefer Grazier if you're going for Void Shards, although Krisk is a good second option. I do think this, you know, the champions you'd get from Sacred Shards, Ancient Shards, etc. are maybe better in that grouping. And then the last group might be one of the more interesting ones, right? You've got Ugir. Okay, let's see if I can find him even. I don't even remember where he is in all of this. Ugir the Worm Eater. Are you here? Can't remember. But you have Ugir the Worm Eater, who's a legendary champion. I cannot for the life of me remember where you find him, but I know he exists. He is a champion in this game. Decent, not spectacular. Is it here? I want to say it's here. Am I wrong about that? I am wrong about that. I don't have him on my account, which makes finding him going to be a little bit harder. So I might just not be able to find him for you guys today. That's okay. But Ugir the Worm Eater, right? He's you know, an attack champion of some sort. Lady Kimmy, obviously, in Shadowkin is always a really good option. She's one of the best speed champions in this game, right? Really good for Hydra as well. Decrease speed, increase accuracy, decrease accuracy, even some block buff stability. So really tight there. You also have King Galkobar, who I have, and I've used him in Hydra before. This guy's kind of mid, to be honest with you, because he has some healing and debuff removal, which is great, actually. That part's really good. It's the block buffs ability, which is just kind of, it's only for one turn, and it's just a little bit underwhelming. Everything's on a 3-turn cooldown, so he uses his skills. It's not like he's bad, but it's just like not perfect for Hydra. It's just a little too brief. So not my favorite choice there, but he's kind of interesting. Then you also have Thalia, old school champion, kind of sneaky fun. You know, turn meter boost and decrease with a buff strip, a full like a big old heal, single target with buff debuff block, and then heals everybody else, and turn meter fill potentially, so an HP burn on the A1. You know, she can do things like soul scare, what is it, scarab, I want to say, or no, the nether spider. She's got an interesting champion. I've actually found I use her a lot more than I expected to. She's better than people think a lot. I think they sleep on her a bit. So kind of an interesting champion for sure. And then of course you have, for the voids, you got Valkanen, who's a real weird champion, kind of funky with a bunch of different, you know, funky skills, but very good for sure. And then you also have Constantine the Dayborn, if I'm not mistaken, Sacred Order, is that right? Yep, there you go. Constantine the Dayborn here, who pairs with the Vlad champion as well, Vlad the Nightborn. Kind of an interesting champion, definitely strong. So I don't really care too much about that third group. Really, for me, the one I'm interested in is Grazer Iron Gut. The reason why I go through all this, I did this long, overly long explanation, is because I'm gonna pull some Void Shards to finish this Path of the Clover event. And obviously this Path of the Clover event is a great way if you skipped, you know, I think either the Summon Rush, maybe, and the Champion Chase. I think you could have skipped both. And maybe you want to pick up these 50 fragments that are here. So if that's your goal, if you're just trying to pick up the fragments to finish out the fusion, that's going to cost you 49,500 of these Path of Clover points, right? 49,500 points. You can get those points from, obviously, from soul stones, right? But I'm gonna assume many of you don't have that many. I actually was able to do a lot. I had saved a lot of soul stones up to this point. But the other way to get them is through sacred shards, or through various shards, period. So 49,000 points is a lot. That's basically 11 of these sacred shards, is gonna break it down exactly. So you can pull 11 sacred shards and get those 2 fragments. That's not cheap. It's not cheap, but if you skip the Champion Chase and you skipped the Summon Rush, maybe this is just the best way to go about it for you. Maybe you saved the shards you would have pulled for both of those and instead are able to get this here. So that could be a really good option for a lot of you in order to finish out that fusion. So if that's the case, I hope you get it. On the other hand, maybe you just want the fragments for the Armand's soul from the Titan event, because that's what's going on right now. Now I think you can skip 250 points worth of things. You need 1,500 total. There should be 750 available. So if you want to skip this event, you can, just don't want to skip anything else. And the Armand's is going to be so dominant in arena, you 100% want to get that 5-star soul if you can. Like, he's going to be super dominant. You're definitely going to want to do that. In order to do that, right, it's going to come down to a lot of this. And so I think getting that's not so bad. It's only 22,500 points, which I think is actually fairly reasonable considering. Obviously, if you don't have the souls and you don't have the soul stones, that makes it a lot harder to be able to do, because those are really the only ways you're going to be able to do this, by summoning champions, by it's not even summoning champions, it's by opening shards, right? Which is a difference, but you're only going to get it by opening shards or summoning souls from soul stones. So those are really the only two ways you're going to be able to get that out of this. But it's only 22,500 for that. If you want to get Padraig, it's 94,750, basically 95,000 points for that. Like I said, that's what I've already done. You're going to want to come down the right side to get the key here. If you don't need the fragments, right? You're going to come down the right side to get the key here. If you do need the fragments, about 4,000 more points, right? Get the key here, and then you come down the middle, open that, and get your champion. If you want the soul stone on top of it, it's going to be 180,000 points total. Basically, almost double the points that it would cost to get the this guy on his own. So because of that, I've opened a lot of this. I'm basically like 74,000 points away from what I need, 75,000. So I'm going to open 100 of these void shards. And yeah, this is a terrible idea, right? Save for the 2X's, usually the goal, but we just had the 2X, I believe, not too long ago. And yeah, I really want Grazier. I think he's an amazing champion and would be really cool for my account. So that's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna finish out this video. So we're gonna open up some shards and hopefully get really lucky here. And you know, even if we don't get Grazier, maybe we'll get something that I don't have, which is always the end goal with this stuff. But yeah, this event with the Heroes Path, I think Padraig is going to be a really solid champion for a lot of people. He really does a lot of stuff that works for basically any kind of team. He has turn meter boost and increased speed buff if you're trying to build him for arena. He buffs everybody at the start of his turn. So no matter what content you're doing, you're enabling your damage dealers, right? Your shields for HP champions doesn't enable them, but doesn't hurt them. You're getting increased defense for defense champions, increased attack for attack champions, right? There's a lot of like really actually kind of positive things coming out of that. I think increased accuracy for support champions. So basically no matter what you're doing, he's going to be effective. He has a cooldown ability on his A1, you know, similar to the White Queen and Korra. It's obviously, you know, it's very RNG, so you're not going to want to bring him to something like Clan Boss, but he could be good for Hydra. And again, I think good for Arena too, where, you know, if you get reset by a Yumiko or a Warlord, this offers an opportunity to help refresh your skills. It's not consistent, but, you know, obviously it's going to help with that process, and I think that's pretty useful. And so like he brings a lot of stuff to the table, right? He's not a damage dealer, but like he's one of those kind of universal support champions. And this is where I think he's somebody where a lot more people might want to get him than maybe would otherwise, because he's going to fill in the gaps of your team. Those buffs he brings, well, you don't have to worry about using a defensive champion with, you know, Arbiter gives you increased attack. Who cares? You don't have to pair Sify with a defensive champion. Who cares? Because he's going to bring those buffs for everybody as is appropriate for them. That's a really nice thing. The turn meter boost means you can use them on a speed team. The fact that he has a cleanse on that same skill means you can use them on a go second style team. The reset ability means you can, you know, fight against warlords or Yumikos. Maybe not as well as you might normally, but better than you might otherwise, right? So he does bring a lot of stuff to the table that I think is actually really nice to see. And I think I don't know that we'll see him at high-end arena, but I definitely think you'll see him in plenty of arena teams out there. We haven't pulled anything, by the way, so far here. As we go through this, nothing of note. No god tier epics, no god tier, no legendaries, period. I would love to see gold if that's possible, but obviously we're fighting the gods of RNG. Let's see where we're at here. I think we've got 30 more to go. Let's just jump back in. Had to take a little break. You know, you got to mix it up a little bit. Getting these flows, we need a little jump start to our luck here. See if we can't get something awesome. Well, see, look at that. We got another Kafru. All right, so got another Kafru. That's actually excellent because I didn't have an extra one, right? Obviously, we did the Armand's fusion on my main account, and now we got Kafru there. So that's actually good. So I can build him up. Again, I think he's a really useful champion for a lot of people out there. if you're somebody that runs a warlord in one of your clan boss teams, like maybe with like an Emic, I think he's going to pair really nicely with that, being that he not only brings a single target unkillable, but also a taunt debuff, allowing him to really, you know, focus your stun targeting. You don't have to worry about affinity. All right, I think the last 10 right here. Hopefully, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get a little shimmer, a little gold at the end of this. One of the reasons why I'm not too fussed right now is if we don't get anything, it at least pushes our pity counter up to a better spot. So the next 10x will be in good place for. Okay, we're just gonna open just one for the road, I think is what we're gonna call that one. Boom. All right, nothing we want. The terrible road we went down, but there it is. That should finish us out. So I need to come down here, get this, the unneeded fragments, get the event key, unlock that. Boom and boom. So now we got the perfect soul, and that's how it's done. I know some people would come down here. It does not seem worth it to me. Yeah, there we go. So that's kind of the idea there with that. And hopefully you guys, you know, obviously I did a little whale out to even get the perfect soul there in that scenario, but getting Padraig, I think, is something worth doing. To me, frankly, I think he's going to be more useful than the champion that was recently offered in one of these hero events. Let's see if I can even remember what his name is. He was one of those Monster Hunter champions, right? Can't remember which one he was, but that Monster Hunter champions, the Greenborn or whatever his name was. Here, oh, there's Uger, by the way, the Worm Eater. I forgot about, missed him before. Is he Skinwalkers? No. Lizard Man? No. Can't remember where the greenhorn guy was. Gotta be here somewhere, right? Oh, here you go. The Blade Master, yes. Alatreon. I think he's better than Alatreon, frankly. I think he just brings more utility to the kit. So if you're somebody that wheeled out for Alatreon, I think this guy is going to be a better option for you. Personally, that's just my thinking, because he resets skills, right? Big old heal. He has an ally attack ability, right? That's really massive for most content areas. Turn meter fill, like I said before, plus increased speed, plus a cleanse. Kind of a lot of stuff going on there. And then has this buff thing that happens on everybody, just depending on the type of champion they are. That's really powerful. It's dungeon speed aura. I think it's actually really solid champion for you. That's going to enable your teams no matter which direction you take them. And so for me, I think he's like a really solid champion. I don't think he's a game changer. I don't think he's going to transform your accounts. But if you have the ability to get him, I think it's worth it, quite frankly. So anyway, that's the video, guys. Hopefully, if you pull shards for this event, hopefully your shard pulling went better than mine did, because mine did not go good at all. And then just make sure to pick the appropriate day for the champions that you want to bring in, right? You know, you want to make sure it's either, you know, today, tomorrow, or the next day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when you do this. But it's a very fun event. I think this is going on really, it's going to be I don't know, it's a fun event, but anytime you have the opportunity to get a legendary champion, always something to kind of keep in mind. As far as that goes, 94,000 points is a lot. It's akin to about 20 sacred shards. I think it's a little bit more, but obviously you're getting more rewards along the way. So when you think about some of the guaranteed legendaries we've had in the past, kind of fits into that grouping. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. So hopefully you enjoyed. Good luck on the event. Good luck with the soul stones for Armand, the Festival Titan event. You definitely want to do this. This is not a joke. This is 100% something you're going to want to do. So don't ignore this. This is something you're going to want to make happen. All right, guys, but that's all we got for today. So till next we meet, Deadwood Jedi.